Senator Laka, you've listened to, the views. Is your camp also considering the bigger picture as a tribe in the other things have indicated? Equity, are you also considering implications, the constitutional implications?
All right. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, the leaders on the call, and good afternoon for those who are already in the afternoon time. Yeah, I guess there's no one on the call who is in the evening hours in their country. So yeah, it's good to have everyone on board again. It's a Friday. As always, every Friday we go through the question and answer session where we get to answer questions regarding what we learned in the course of the week. And we at the same time share a lot as leaders, as people who are learning, and as people who are into the crypto trading world, right? Because there's a lot happening in the cryptocurrency world. a lot of adoption happening all over the world, a lot of regulations stepping in from different countries, a lot of countries, other countries getting scared of the pressure that cryptocurrency is bringing. And just there's a lot happening within the cryptocurrency space. So we need to be very, very much updated. We need to be on top of our game. I just got to understand there are some countries where the policemen are torturing and disturbing the youth, especially those dealing in crypto. I don't know. I don't know what kind of sense that the policemen have to do this really. I mean, they are treating it as a scam. I don't know what guts they really have to treat crypto trading as a scam. I don't know whether it is crypto trading or they're trying to, based on the experience they had previously with the companies, which I trust and believe that should be a return on investment companies that scam the people. So they think that whoever is involved currently in crypto trading should be in the categories of those who are going to scam people. So I don't know. That's why from my discussions last week, yes, I did made it very clear that we really have a lot. We have a lot to do to enrich, to enlighten, and to to make it known to the world that cryptocurrency is not a scam. Cryptocurrency is a revolution in the financial system that has come to stay. Right? We have a lot to tell and educate people around us and people in our respective countries to understand, to change the narratives of how they think about cryptocurrency. Let them change the narrative. I mean, until when shall they become, or shall they begin seeing reality? You know, in that the cryptocurrency is there to stay and it has come to stay, and you can't resist it. So with the perception that most people still have with regard to cryptocurrency, I think we need a lot to do. We need a lot to do. That's why oftentimes when the leaders are saying on different calls that let's endeavor to always attend Zoom. Sometimes some people lose, they lose the power and the energy. They lose the power. Uh, yeah, I hope everyone is, I hope everyone is, I hope people are getting me. I don't know, I'm seeing a message as if it's something I'm not getting. Am I clear? Could I get some feedback, please, before I can continue? Can I get some feedback? Yeah. Am I clear? Am I being heard? Yes. Hello. Yes. Okay. The sound quality is poor and low. Right. Sorry. Oh, what do I do? Is it still poor and low? Is it? Mic check. Is it okay now? Or do I have to check? Just okay now. Is it okay? Is it okay, ladies and gentlemen? Who's on the call? Right. How about here? Is it fine? Is it still down? All right. Idris is saying loud and clear. So I hope it is now very loud and clear. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Oh yeah. So okay. So let's continue. Right. I believe for the new people, if it is your first time to attend today's Zoom, we always have Zoom trainings every single day from Monday to Friday, to Saturday. And sometimes we have a lot of action-packed trainings also in the course of on Sunday evenings for some group members. But the general call we normally have for the team Egos International always run from Monday to Saturday. That is the real weekly training. Where where on Monday we talk about trading, on Tuesday we talk about network building, and then on Wednesday and Thursday we still dive back into into, into, into training on tradings, where of course, as we always say, for the new people, just for the consumption of the new people, that always on Monday we get you introduced to crypto trading, right? We get you introduced into crypto trading. We make you know how important crypto trading is, how you can actually automate your crypto trading using a robot instead of doing it manually. So we just give you the general overview and an insight on how you can start trading using especially the robot. Then on Tuesday, we bring in that aspect of network building, because when you get into trading using the robot, you must be very much aware that the robot is so presents two opportunities. One, you using it as a trading tool to profit, but at the same time, you can as well benefit from the affiliate program, from its compensation program, right? And the compensation program only comes in the sense that if you decide to go, if you decide to begin sharing the opportunity with friends and families, with people who are probably interested in automating their trading, who are probably tired of some kinds of trading that would make them get liquidated in most of the time. Probably someone who has no knowledge in regard to crypto trading but wants to get started. That is when you can share your link. If you share your link to such a person, and the person activates his or her robot, and as the person activates, you automatically earn some bonus, all right, for having introduced the person in the business, or having made that person know such an opportunity of a trading robot that trades for him or her, right, on the crypto spot market. So if you go into, if you want to benefit also from the compensation plans of the Royalq, which is absolutely very amazing for those who haven't tried yet, yeah, you can go ahead and begin attending. You can attend the Tuesday trainings, where the leaders break it down to you. You get to know how you can go about the benefits that arise from the compensation plan, how you can build a team, how you can, how you can actually maximize from the team building, right? So that is what we do normally on Tuesdays, and we have leaders who go through that, and in the different and respective groups. Then we have Wednesday is where now we look at how to be a passive trader. Remember, just as a way of recap, that as a crypto trader, when you opt to join crypto trading, especially using the robot, you have a choice to make. You can decide to go solo, or you decide to go passive, or you can decide to probably go both. Now, the passive, of course, is where you allow the robot to do the trading on your behalf, doing 99% of the work on autopilot, no intervention. You just set it once, avail the trading capital, just make sure the trading capitals are available. Yeah, you start up your robot, and then the robot will be trading 24/7, right? 24/7, 365 days a year. So that is what will happen. But still, even when you decide to go passive, you have a choice to either use the default settings that the robot comes with. As long as you have the capital, you can just start it up. Pick any coin of your choice, because within each coin on the Royalq or on the robot, it has the default settings, the general settings of the coin. So you can decide to use that, because that is the general settings on the robot. I mean, is that it uses the martingale strategy. So, or you can, if you have little capital and you just want the robot to begin trading, you can adjust those parameters, right, to suit your capital, and then allow it to trade. Now, you can also decide to go solo. Now, what is solo trading? Solo trading, of course, involves you spending a little time with the robot, right? Having to learn some few things in regard to the operation of the robot. That is where you get to learn on how to pick a coin by yourself to trade, right? When to pick it, because now, to me, I take that solo trading is when you're moving away from, the normal trading. You want to get into professional trading, right? And going into professional traders don't just trade because others are trading. They don't just trade because somebody is excited that a particular coin is doing well. A professional trader knows when to trade, right? And knows when not to trade. A professional trader knows the coin he or she wants to trade, right? And what percentage he or she wants to get from a particular trade, right? That's what professional traders do. So if you go into solo trading, to me, I see you going into professional trading because you're going to have to learn in some aspects of price action, some technical analysis. You're able to pick a coin, analyze, and look for entry opportunities, right? Those areas of value within the chart, right? So that normally appears towards the end of a downtrend, right? So you're looking for an opportunity to enter because you want to benefit and enjoy the journey as the market is moving up. Because as a solo trader, you look for entry opportunity, a point of exhaustion within the downtrend, where now the market can't help it, but rather reverse, right? Or change direction and begin going up. So that is where you look for when you're doing technical analysis. So you can decide to go into solo trading. And that is one of the best things. And normally that is what takes most of the sessions within the week during the training session. So to equip you and enrich you with the skills so that when somebody is talking about crypto trading, you know exactly it in and out. Nobody will tell anything lies because there are people who are always opportunists. They take advantage of the ignorance of some people and begin degrading crypto trading. But if you have that aspect of the skill, the technical analysis, no one will beat you in that area. You'll be in position to help out. You'll be in position to educate, right? And that would be so amazing. So yeah, you can decide to go solo, or you can even decide to do both. You can allow the robot trade on autopilot, then at the same time you also you trade you go solo, especially if you have the capital, right? It's only if you have the capital. If you don't have the capital, you can choose to go for one, right? So that is what happens normally. On a Tuesday is passive, and then of course on Thursday is when they talk about solo trading. And of course now, having gone through all those sessions on Fridays like this, we do a little bit of a recap through the question and answer, right? We do a little bit of a recap through this question and answer, where now we get to discuss. It's like an open table, right? It's like a round table where we now share ideas, we share our thoughts, we get to understand deeper in areas that probably we might have not understood when we were being taken through the previous sessions. So a Friday like this is the day for a round table talk, right? For helping each other out. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think a recap was necessary, right? So that at least if it is the first time on the call, you're able to know where we started from, right? Yeah. So with that said, I think I would like to now open up the table for a discussion. You will pose a question in any of the areas I've talked about, or even areas that may not be within the area I spoke about, but you feel it may be necessary that we share about, we talk about it, right? As long as it is within the areas of discussion, like crypto trading or Royalq. Okay. Yeah, so the modality of our discussions will of course be you raise it, you hand up, and then you pick it, and then you share with us, or you just chat. You give your questions within the chat, and as you of course uh, ask your questions within the chat, I believe we also have amazing leaders in the call who would probably also be answering a few of them through the chat. Yeah, because sometimes other questions may require a lot of elaboration, that may require a lot of screen sharing and demonstration. So there are those short ones that can quickly be answered through the chat. All right, let's get started. Let's get started. Let me check through. All right. Okay. So maybe by show of hand, if at all we have new people, probably this is the first time you're attending the question and answer session. If it is your first time, probably just by show of hand, right? Let me let's see if it is your first time. If this is your first time, do you have any first timer? Okay, I think everyone here is out person. All right. Okay, so
okay. Yes, yes, Coach Musa.
Yes, please, did I?
I see you are asking me to unmute.
Sure. Did I? No, no, I think no, I did not ask you to unmute. So let's go through the question. At what point do someone use martingale strategy? I mean, what amount of capital favors the use of the martingale strategy? Now, the martingale strategy. All right, I'm using a laptop. Probably, I don't know if I could bring with the phone, but I think it will affect. So, Leader Julius, probably I'm using a laptop, and I did not install my whatever on it. You could just go through the martingale strategy. The question is, at what amount of capital favors the martingale strategy, right? I think you could just throw a little light on the martingale strategy, and then we can move on. Yeah, you could share your screen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Basically, there is no specific capital. Maybe just to try to explain what is martingale strategy. Now, while Royalq was being built, it was built on a system of whenever the coin gets cheaper, the robot buys more than it had bought previously. So it is, unless you are good, because someone asked me today, but Julius, sometimes I see you don't trade with margin calls. Unless you are good and maybe you have little capital, you can, if you have taken off some time to know when to enter the market and you have worked on your skill, you can basically get in a trade at the right time. But I would not advise anyone to set up a trade without margin calls, right? So these margin calls, I personally believe that if someone could have their previous purchase, the next purchase bigger than their previous. For example, if I use the chart here, if my first drop, if my first call is my first call drop is 0.5, all right, and then my multiple is 1.5. If you focus on my chart, I'm showing that. But it is 1.5 of what? It is 1.5 of my first buying amount, FBA. So if I have, let me say, let me use $100, all right? If I have $100, in Binance, the minimum purchasing is $15. So what will I say? What is 15 times 1.5? That is my first call. So you find that when we get 15 times 1.5, it is 22.5. Then I say, okay, that is my first call, it is handled. Then I go to the second call, I say, okay, so still 15. How am I gonna increase this? Because I have little capital. 15 times 1.8. Now 15 times 1.8, 15 times 1.8, I'm working in the chart. 15, someone should not be looking for me on the screen, 1.8. Now here, you find that it is $27. Now 27 plus 22.5, it is 49. So I still have $50 to go. Then I say my third call will be 15 times, let me go to 2, which is 30. So this is 30. Then I say, okay, I've remained with some capital. So I think someone has around $20. Now for this case, I might have 3 margin calls. All right, 3 margin calls. Then I use the $20 for manual replenishment because it cannot set up my next call. Now, there is no specific, now the challenge is that what most people suffer from, or what most of us suffer from, is lack of enough capital. That I need to emphasize is that you have little money that could not suit, because the best trading strategy, by the way, is when you decide to use multiples of 2. You can use multiples of 2, which is 2, 4, 8, 16. If someone has bigger capital, can even go to multiples of 3, multiples of 4, multiples of 5. Because whenever you multiply, you win faster, you win better, you win bigger. That's why the Royalq settings have 7 margin calls. Royalq settings has 7 margin calls, period. And if someone has more capital, ladies and gentlemen, if you look at the Royalq, let us say the first buying amount is 15 in Binance, all right? So let us go 15 times 2. I just want to give you a clear picture, because when you understand to become, this will be 30. Let us go 15 times 4, well, which is, I think this is 16. Let us go 15 times 8. This goes for, I think, 120 if I'm okay. This is $120. Let's go. Let's go 15 times 16. How much is this? 15 times 16, I think is 240. Let's go. Let's go. It is 15 times 32, which is equal to 15 times 32, which is equal to 480. 15 times, I think the next one is 64, if I am not forgotten. 15 times 64. Okay, so 15 times 64, which is 960. Then we go 15 times 128, which is 15 times 128, which is 1,920. If we add the total plus 960 plus 480 plus 240 plus 120 plus 60 plus 30. This is equal to a total. The total is 38110. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you just look at the chart, I want to tell you a fact. If someone has $3,810 and picks a signal, maybe from a group, picks a signal maybe from, I don't know whether we have lost Coach Musa. Let me just confirm. He's back. Queen Annelien, you are the host. Maybe you could help and make him the host again. Okay, me, I'm just sharing. If someone has capital, ladies and gentlemen, and you have your 3,810, I want to give you a fact that you cannot suffer with floating loss. This is why. That whenever the market gets down by a certain percentage, your robot doubles. Now, let's go to the market. And I'll basically go to TradingView, me personally. And I want to show you something. I'll use a specific indicator. Let's look at this coin that is doing maybe poor in the market. It's just getting here. Let us look which coin is doing poor in the market. Ion is the most poor performing coin. Let me get off all these indicators, buy zones, things here. Let me clear my chart. I'm in a 1 week time frame. I was dealing with one investor who wanted to stay longer in trades, but let's get now to, let me go one hour, all right? So I'm gonna increase my candles, make them a little bit clear. All right, they are hacking ash, so I'm gonna return them to ordinary candles because hacking candles don't give what is happening straight in the market. Okay, but they control the noise. Now let me add one indicator here to simplify my task for today. I'm a little bit weak, so I may not be able to do those with the video, especially maybe tomorrow I may have the energy. Now, let us look at the performance of the market. All right, now the market is not a straight path. I want to find a downward trend. All right, here's a downward trend. How do I confirm? We know a downward trend is comprised of lower lows and lower highs, lower lows and lower highs. It means that is a downward trend. And so if I look at this trend here, you see that if someone uses the martingale strategy to keep on doubling whenever they purchase, I want to show you an example that if someone joined from here, and their next call is here, I'm just giving an example, that by the time the market stops here and it has doubled, the average price is close at the current price, and this person here can pick their 4%. Let us say bad things happen and someone picked their trade from here. Just giving an example. Someone entered the market from here and using martingale. When the market drops down by a certain percentage, let me say it's up to here, whether 2%, but this is basic. Let me say this is how much. This is 10%. Okay, it's close to 11%. Now let us say someone has margin calls of 0.57 times. All right, let's get the calculator there. So 0.57 times, okay, 0.5 times 7. This is 3.5. Maybe that is their purchase. But if someone has margin calls, ladies and gentlemen, it means that whenever the market falls down, the average price gets closer to the current price because he has the purchasing power. So basically, if you have, what affects most people with margin calls that you don't have the money to purchase, as I've stated below. That's why I say, if you don't have the money to run these margin calls that you see on my screen in the chart, what do? You can pick the same strategy, but where they put multiples of 4, you keep on reducing. But make sure your previous purchase is, your next purchase is bigger than the previous purchase, depending on your capital. So I cannot come up with a specific, say that this is enough capital, because I'm not in anyone's account. I'm not into anyone's affordability. So your affordability, ladies and gentlemen, gives you the ability to trade with your little capital. That's why I say, whoever has little capital, I want to give you advice. If you really want to have the financial freedom you are looking for, let me share with one statement with my friend. He's here, but I don't think he'll get annoyed. He's my friend. He will not get annoyed. Let me look for him. All right, he's here. I want to share with you this testimony of this guy. He has traded, and he has traded some little profits. $6 for 3 days, right? Me, I just showed him what to do. I don't know how he's doing it, but I just showed him what to do. I cannot ask him whether he's picking signals from the group, but I showed him what to do. And he has been trading. Me, I showed him what to do. He has his 7 margin calls and he has a capital of $198. I don't know how he does it because most people usually ask me, because me, my responsibility is to teach you what to do, but your execution causes the difference. He decided to make his first buying amount 50. I don't know, because he was making little profit, he was making 1.2. So he said, I want to increase my first buying amount. So I asked him today, wow, how much capital? He said first buying amount 50, but total capital 198. But me, I showed him what to do. The rest still gets back to him on a personal basis. But what I would advise is that as you make your decisions to pick your trades, no matter which signal, it is not advisable for you to put all your money once in the market unless you have good capital. For example, okay, I want to give an example. Someone has $2,000, all right? I want to just give an example. Let me go to one of my trades, okay? One of my trades. Oh, no, please, I don't want to log in. Okay, let me just, but this will not work. Let me just log out and log in first sharp. Now, what I mean is that if you have money, because money is everything in trading, all right? Although someone may say some people have little capital, but they make some profit. It is about you and your approach on what we have taught you. I don't know whether I am trying to get a little bit clear, but let me log into this account and I give an example so that maybe someone could understand what I mean. Just first sharp. Let us pick BNB. For example, I was just showing someone what to do here. For example, if I'm trading BNB, all right, and I have more money, I can come in this BNB that is at floating lows, ladies and gentlemen. I tap on buy, market price, and I raise here $500. BNB will automatically get out of floating loss because it will move the average price exactly to the current price. So if someone has close to, let me say you were an aggressive trader, and maybe I have like $2,000. I can wait for the market maybe comes down. I go and I do manual replenishment because if I press in here $1,000, this is a trading strategy. I get the floating loss to zero. I bring the average price directly to the current price. So it is all about capital, because if someone has bigger capital, like for example, US is floating, I come on the same trade, I say, okay, $300, tap on buy, tap on market price, and I say, right, I'm gonna double this by $300. I'm gonna double this, let me say with $1,000. I move the average price closer to the current price, and my trade can win faster. So if you cannot open up margin calls, then you can use the manual replenishment strategy, ladies and gentlemen, because you have the money. Now that's where money comes in play. That's why I would advise everyone on the call. If you have little capital, the only way to keep winning is to make sure that you have sufficient. I was speaking to one of our leaders in Uganda. This guy, I think, in Uganda, I think he's the most trading guy I've ever seen. Every day, he wins trades. He makes close to, I think, $100 a day. And someone was asking him, how do you trade? This guy has huge capital. He believes in huge capital. In his team, he says, if you don't have $5,000, please, I'm sorry. You're not going to make it big here. You want this huge profit, huge capital. So because it helps you, what happens for manual? Do you lose? Or now what do you lose? By the way, in Royalq, we don't lose. I don't know if people understand me. We don't lose anything. What you lose is waiting time. Okay, you wait longer than someone who has opened up margin calls, or you wait longer than someone who has done manual replenishment. But there is nobody that loses. It is just waiting time. So as you are waiting, where are you putting your focus? Maybe that is the huge question I ask myself as I wait. Because me, when I pick a trade, I never go back to my robot. I just wait for the message. But as I'm waiting, because I find someone else who has to know about cryptocurrency. As I'm waiting, I wait. As I'm waiting for the market return, I go and speak to Peter. People tell me, Julius, but how can I speak to Peter if I'm in floating loss? Peter doesn't know floating loss. Peter doesn't know floating loss. Peter is not concerned with my floating loss. Peter gets in the market today, and the market is good for Peter, and Peter makes profit. But on everything he earns, I earn something. I also get my $30, so I add on my capital. It's all about mindset, basically. There's nothing big. It's all about mindset and how you see the things. But I don't know whether I've helped this person who was asking about margin calls and martingale strategy. You need to set according to your capital, because I don't know how much you have and how much you are willing to expose. But basically, I end by saying, do not expose 100% of your capital. Do not expose in all your trades. Make sure you always have what I call reserve. You should always have reserve. Now, one of the challenges that I have faced personally is that I usually love to make my first buying amount huge. Do you have friends like me? You want to always make your first buying amount huge. Maybe you have like $200 and you want to make your first buying amount $50. You want to make it, let me set 150 and remain with $50. It's a big challenge. It takes heart to stop it, because what causes it is that when you put in $50 and you set more margin because the market did well and the coin sold. Now you say, no. I always make sure my first buying amount is huge. But if you don't have capital for manual replenishment or setting up, following those big margin calls, the margin calls with a multiple buying ratio, the best strategy is put your first buy-in amount lower. Let me say if someone gives you a signal and you have $500 and you develop a habit of making your first buying amount 15 and set your 7 margin calls, you will never go wrong. I want to promise you. For example, you have $500 because it gets back to display. Okay, I'm just showing you. And because me, I have my capital. I can play with this robot any direction. So you come and come here. You put your first buying amount 15. You have $500 and you make your margin call 7. Someone drops a signal, your take profit is up to what they have given you. Then you come here and you say, maybe these are 7, but you can even reduce these to 4. And you keep it here because this is $500, ladies and gentlemen. This is $500. So instead of you struggling, someone sends a signal. You say, okay, even if you're not good at this, but this is too huge. But what I know, especially signals that people usually send, they're not longer. 0.5. People usually send signals in 1 hour and 4 hour time frame. The people that I know that send the signals, I can make this. And if I can set 5, by the way, if you set 4 to 7 margin calls, you are in business. So I can increase this maximum to 7 margin calls. 7, these are good. Then I press this to around 0.5 because the number of margin calls you can break down here, because statistics show that the market may not fall so much huge, especially people are trading 30 minutes, 1 hour. It's only in the 4 hours the market may drop 1% before it bounces. So you pray 2, 4, 6. This 16 is already $500. This one here. But you need to, if you can press 4 margin calls with your $500, you cannot go wrong, ladies and gentlemen. And you put in your first buying amount to be 15 instead of you putting, let me say, $500. You can edit this depending on how you want to spread your capital. But if I have that strategy, I'm safe and secure with my trades. If I, instead of me putting my $500 once in the market, even if we are all going to suffer from floating loss, my average price will be closer to my current price than you. So if the market drops by this 0.5 and it buys all my $500 in the market, my ability to get out of that trade is much more faster than you if the market goes down. I just wanted to make that clear. So some say, for instance, if your first buying amount is 100, start, then go back and change the first buying amount to 15. The question is, in the margin call configuration, the robot will be buying timers with 100 or 15. Now, that was a good thing. At first, I thought it was good, but this is what happens. Now, if you put your first buying amount here 100, right? For example, you put here 100 as your first buying amount. Now, after the robot has put in $100, now you come back and reduce this to 15. Remember, you have now changed the principle of the robot. The robot put in $100, but now as it is buying, it's just putting in pennies. I don't know if someone is understanding what I'm saying. It's now not duchesses. It is now just putting in just some more money. Like when someone puts a 1-1 here, you get what I say? Especially those that trade one shot. Because if you put a 1-1 here, I don't say that your robot will not be selling, but your profits, you would have limited them, because here you are just adding in more money. You will find that using this formula, even you who changes, your average price doesn't keep changing. I don't know if someone understands me. You go and make a study. Put in 100, first buy, come and change it to 15. You'll find always your average price doesn't change. Your average price remains the same, which also keeps you in a waiting time, even though the robot is buying. Maybe the advantage you will have is only from the 50th call and below, because there the robot will be doing sub sales, right? Robot will be doing sub sales. But the reason why as a team, maybe I need to tell you facts. The reasons why as a team we opted to teach the one short strategy is because most of the people don't have capital. But me from the word go, but for me from the word go, the only thing I would recommend is a cycle. I tell you the fact. I don't want to lie to you. From the word go, the only thing I would recommend is a cycle, because most of you don't have the time to sit on your trades, right? Most of you don't have the time to look for trades to trade. But basically, I would advise, instead of you putting your first buying amount as $100, the only challenge you will face, Mama G, is that you will have little profit if the market rises. But if it becomes your habit, is that, I don't know how I can express it, is that sometimes the market will go down and favor you and it will be winning. It's all about, I think the main statement could be, in trading, it is better to protect your capital than to expose all your money. Because if you don't have wallet management of your money, then you're gonna get disturbed. But if I put in 15 and I set my 4 margin calls, and maybe the market rises and it sells, I make a little profit of my $15. But if the market pushes down, then I will make 2% of my $500. I don't know whether I've been able to answer that, but back to you, Coach Musa.
All right, thank you very much, Leader Julius. I think that was elaborate enough. And yes, and maybe just just a quick one, just with respect to the question that Mama G asked. You see, there is a strategy that we have always been teaching people, that once you find yourself in the floating loss, you don't have to begin with, whimpering, because there is a way out. You can actually even make much more profit even in the floating loss, especially if you understand that aspect of solo trading. How does that come about? Let's take, for instance, let me share my screen and try to demonstrate this. I'll use it. All right. Oh, I can use this. Let me use. All right. So, all right. So let me take, for instance, this. Let's assume and how you can profit from the floating loss is that if you find yourself in the floating loss and constantly, probably you see a signal being sent on the very coin you're trading, but you're already in the floating loss, right? How do you maximize? How do you just a minute? Just a minute, guys. All right, sorry guys. So let's say, for instance, a signal has been sent in the group. Let's say the signal is saying you should trade, let's say ADA, right? You're supposed to trade ADA. And ADA, according to the signal, key things were noted out. One, the take profit percentage. The take profit percentage was given, let's say it was 2%. They're telling you to take 2% from the market. And then the entry price as well was given. Yeah, the entry price. Let's say the entry price was the entry price was for ADA. Let me check for ADA what the entry price could be. Let's assume the entry price was 0.4. This one here was 0.40. This is the entry price. Now, what you're seeing here is that the market, the price is still somewhere up, but you expect the price to drop, right? You expect the price to drop up to here before the market has reversed. Because most of the times, when people identify signals, right, they look at the point of exhaustion within the trend where they suspect that the market direction is going to reverse from, right? At the point where they think the market is going to reverse, based on the analysis generally, not thinking, but based on the analysis. So if, according to the analysis, someone realizes that, okay, at this point, just a minute, I want to demonstrate something. Let's assume this is where I expect the price is going to reverse from at 0.4507. Now, but currently our price is well. Currently the price is still up. It's still around here. That's where the price is, all right? Now, you are looking at this difference here. You don't know how far in terms of percentage that the market has to drop before this price here of 0.507 being picked, right? So what you're going to do, you'll have to draw your price range, right? You're going to draw a price range from where the current market, where the current price of that coin is where you draw your is where you put your cursor, and then you drag it downwards to right where, sorry, drag it downwards to where that price is, where that line drawn is. So that is where the price is currently, right? That is where the price is. So literally speaking, it means, oh, it is in the positive, but I'm assuming you've drawn this right from up here, where the current price of ADA is, and you drag your price rate downwards until where that price is, the line they've just drawn. That is the entry price, provided that it was what was given in the signal. Now, if you were trading ADA, probably for you, just set this as your entry price, right? And then wait, if the market drops to this point, to this price, then you are able to take up your 2%. You will now be in position to profit along as the journey, as the coin is journeying upward, right? Be in position to journey along with the coin as it is moving up. And your 2% probably will be around there, right? With 2%, you will be
Excuse me, Coach Musa.
Yes, please.
We can't see your screen, and we also didn't see what you have just told us.
You can see my screen?
No, it's just the whiteboard that we are seeing.
Ah, sorry. sorry. Let me repeat that. Let me repeat this. Let me go over that again. So I was giving an instance where a signal has been sent on a coin where you're already in a floating loss, right? You're already in a floating loss in ADA, for example, and then a signal has been sent. And yeah, I've not yet started sharing the screen, please. I know. Okay. Let me do this. Can you see my screen now?
Yes, we can see it now, Coach.
All right. Okay, thank you. All right, let me begin afresh. I'm assuming that a signal has already been sent in the group, and the signal is asking us to trade ADA, right? Asking us to trade ADA. And on that signal, they gave you a few things. And one of the things that was given was the entry price, or the price at which you have to set for the robot to enter the market. And then also on the signal, you have the take profit percentage. But for you, you're already in a floating loss, right? Now, when you're in a floating loss, how you can only benefit from this is in this sense. If for me, I do normally recommend that when you're in the floating loss, let's say the robot has already made about 5 calls, right? From 5 and above. That is where you can maximize from the sub-sell, right? You can maximize in 2 ways, either through the signals that has been sent, or if you had already learned how to, to pick a coin to trade, you can do the analysis by yourself. As you do the analysis, look at that point of exhaustion within the downtrend, where you see that probably around this area is where the force is. This force will resist, okay, will prevent this coin or the price of this coin from dropping below this area. Just like we would most times see that I'm going to use these two methods just to give that insight of what I'm talking about. So we have our ADA, and let's say the preset price that was in the signal is talking of let me just put this area 0.4400. Do we see this price? Right. So let's assume this was the entry price that was indicated in the signal, right? Then you have a take profit of 2% in the signal. Now, what do you need to do? The first thing you need to do, if you were in a floating loss, first look for horizontal line. Go to your chart, right? Go to your chart, right? Let's go to your chart quickly. Pick a horizontal line or horizontal ray. I will pick the horizontal line. Then bring it here and look for where the 0.44 is, that price which is on the signal. Look for where the 0.440 is, which is probably here. Right? Thinking that is here. Then you draw your horizontal line, because that is the entry price. Now you are this person who is already in a floating loss. Now, but you want to benefit from this trade, from the signal. Now, after drawing that, you're going to come back and either pick a horizontal line or pick a price range. Let's pick a horizontal line. Again, I'll come here, pick my horizontal line, and look for where the current price of ADA is, right? According to the chart, the current price of ADA is here. If you can all see on this red candle, this last red candle, right? That's where the current price is. Then you can just drop their horizontal line. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we want to see by what percentage will this price have to drop before it can get into the 0.44%, right? That is what you want to find out. Now, to do that, you look for a price range, right? Tap your price range, come to where the current price of ADA is, right? Then, after putting your cursor there, you drag the price range downwards. Sorry, you drag it downwards. Just a minute, minute to minute, all right? So you're going to drag the cursor downwards and measure the percentage to that very point, the line or the price which was indicated in the signal as an entry price. All right, it's probably there. So that means before the robot can buy, for someone who is just joining it, probably because he or she was not on the floating loss, will have to wait a little longer until the price drops from here all the way to this preset price. Then the robot is going to buy. But if you're this person who was already in a floating loss, let's say your robot had already made 5 calls, it bought 5 times. Now, what you're going to do, you're going to target the 6th call. You're going to target the 6th call. But how are you going to set your 6th call? You're going to come and pick this percentage here, the negative 4.59, right? The negative 4.59. Then you'll go to your robot, right? And then check on the 6th call. On the 6th call is where you're going to set this 4.59 as the margin call drop percentage, right? As the margin call drop percentage, you'll set it at 4.59. Then, after setting this, the number of times will depend on how much you want to inject on that sub position. When the robot is buying, how much you would want to inject in the 6th call. Remember, a signal has already been sent, and probably you went and confirmed, and yeah, you found out that yeah, this is probably the error of it. This should be an error of support, because if you check previously, if you check previously, you realize that this was an error almost being touched. Yeah, the price was respecting those points before the market direction can reverse. So because it is like that, probably you have the confidence that, okay, I think probably if this price drops up to here, there's a likelihood that the market will reverse and begin moving where? Upwards, right? There's that likelihood. So what you're going to do is this. You will definitely now go and set this as your margin call drop. Then, since the signal is talking about 2%, you're going to come, you will, of course, your 2% will be around there, around here. From this point, right, if you measure upwards, your 2% may probably be around, the 2% may be probably around almost halfway, just 2% around there, right? That is where you expect your 2%. So if the market comes and reverses from this point, and the price begins moving upward, you just, when the market moves halfway of this percentage drop, you will be out of the market, unless your robot will sell. Now, this percentage is set as a margin call drop for the 6th call. Then the number of times will now depend. The number of times, if you, for example, you wanted to inject there $100, when injecting $100, it means once the market drops from where we have drawn, where the previous or the current price of ADA was, and it drops down by 4.59, the robot is going to buy. So from that point, if the market reverses and begins moving, the market direction reverses and begins moving up, If it moves by 2%, the robot is going to sell and the robot will take 2% of the $100 injected on that sub position, which is the sixth call. Now, this strategy does two things. One, it is going to allow you reap bigger. It is going to allow you make more profit even when you're in the floating loss. And two, a moment the robot buys, it is going to reduce your return rate, or what we call the percentage that is always indicated on the floating loss, right? That percentage at which you always see as a floating loss. It will reduce. If it was, for example, -4%, right? Let's assume you had injected the bot had already used $100, but you're in a floating loss of -4%. By virtue of putting $100 in the sixth call, first of all, it is going to reduce that percentage from -4 to -2%. That is one thing. Two, it is going to give you an extra benefit of closing that trade in the sixth sub position at a profit of 2%. So when it sells, first of all, even the return rate has reduced. It's already at -2. And then two, you're even profited. So if it sells, you're going to make profit. Now you can continue doing that on and on and on as long as you're able to analyze that coin. And if, for example, it is sold and you remain at the -2 at which was reduced at, and then you are getting notice of an entry opportunity, you do the same again. And then you inject in again another $100. The percentage is going to reduce from -2 to -1. Now, the more you do that, the more you're getting out of that floating loss in the smartest way possible. And that is what we call the auto replenishment. So you need to just know when to enter and how to set that margin call drop, right? So that it takes you back to what Leader Julius has always been teaching on the call on how to pick a coin to trade. Because now this is for someone who is doing it manually. Let's say if you're introducing some aspect of an indicator, let's say I introduce in the auto Fibonacci retracement indicator. Now the beauty about the auto Fibonacci retracement indicator is that it has those fib levels already indicated. So you are able to tell the points where there is a possibility of market reversal. You are able to tell. Like from
Coach
me,
Muka,
if you just, yes.
maybe before you continue, could you just come back to what you were sharing before you introducing the auto FBI retracement? Just maybe to try to create clarity, because to our people, what you are trying to say is that someone was already trading on this particular coin, right?
Yes.
And they are in floating loss. Let me try to see if I share my screen, because I see people have not yet go to what you're talking about. Let me see. For example, let me go to this group, right? And I hope you could follow and help me out. Let me go to this group. Where is just a minute. All right, let me go to this group of billionaires, right? Because this is where most of us drop signals. I also request you to also start dropping your signals to hear for us so that we can follow. Now, for example, I'm not very good at giving signals. People usually ask me why don't I? I'm not very good. It's not my art. Okay, now I'm trading EOS, right?
Yes.
And the entry price was 1.52, right?
Yes.
So I entered this coin. I want to see if you see it's here. So that was the entry price of this coin is 1.252, all right?
Yeah.
And I'm already floating at, so what I do, what you are trying to talk about is that I go to my trading view.
Yes.
Just yeah. Held at work. Oh, this one is supposed to activate. Let me just go here. I go to my trading view. I hope someone is following. I'm not very good at, I'm not a very good trader like my brother, but me, I'm very good at explaining when I understand something. So someone should That is my art. So I usually focus on my energy. Where do I have my energy? Let me remove this. All right. Okay, let me go to 1 hour. Okay, let me increase my candles. Okay, so this is the current price, all right?
Yes.
And the signal was given to enter at 1.25, 1.252, which is here. Let me just see if I understood what I'm trying to. 1.52, it was here, 1.5, 1.5. The signal was given here, right?
Yes.
Now, as we speak, the market is down here.
Yes, exactly.
Let me change this to normal candles because hacking ash might confuse people. Now the market is there. What you were trying, found myself there. Now that is the scenario. I entered from here, all right? And now the market is here. So what could be the approach so that I get out of this floating loss?
All right. The approach is this.
I don't know whether I was trying to understand what you are talking about.
Yeah. Now, I'm going to explain it in 2 ways. First, someone who is already at a floating loss, like the way you are, you entered somewhere up, and now you are there, somewhere there, right? Now, next thing you're going to do is for someone, let me just give it first of all, let me explain for someone who was already in a floating loss, right? Before, and let's assume the signal that was indicated, right? On that was, I mean, the entry price that was indicated on the signal was, let's say it was down here at
okay, let me do this. So let me do this to get where you are trying to go. All right, so I was here. I entered from here.
Yes.
All right. I'm already floating, but the signal was dropped on the group on this particular coin here.
Yes.
So what you have been saying is that I'll basically pick my price range, measure from the measure from where I had entered, all right, previously, to where the signal has been given, which is here.
Now,
all right,
Juliet, let's simplify it in this way. You draw a horizontal line. Are you seeing where the last swing low for the red candle, the last swing low on that chart, the last current swing low, this other one here? Yes, there. You draw a horizontal line there. So I'm literally taking it that someone, even without using the indicator, already identified that area as the areas of support, right? And therefore gave a signal, and on that signal, the entry price was 1.157, according to the highlighted price on that line, right? But your current price is somewhere up there at 1.228, the current price of the coin currently.
Yeah, the current price is 1.227.
Yes, you first delete the upper one, just not to confuse. Delete the first 2 lines, the first 2 top lines. Those first 2 lines on top, you can first remove them so that we have the line that is, drawn on the current price, and then the line supposedly being drawn for the entry price. So let's assume in that case that you're already in a floating loss, right? You're already in a floating loss, and the current price of the coin is standing at 1.228. But the entry price that was indicated on the signal is at 1.157. Now you want to benefit from that signal, right? You want to take profit the way it was indicated on the signal. What you're going to do is you're going to measure the distance from where the current price is downwards to where the entry price is, and see how much percentage that is before that price can be reached. All right, exactly there, right? So what this one means, therefore, is that your next buy that the robot is going to make should be at 5, it should be when the market drops by 5.82%. You get that?
Now, in this scenario,
Yes.
is that I have already been floating,
Yes.
but they give a signal that has a price lower than my floating average price, right?
Yes.
So when I look at the signal and I find that it's at a lower price, I'll go and measure from the current price to where the signal has been put, and I go and I set my margin call. But this seems to that it will work for a person who has 5 margin calls and above.
Even someone who hasn't made whose robot hasn't bought even more than that, more than 2%. Let's say it only bought, let's look at this scenario that for you, you were one short trader, right? But unfortunately, when at the price that you expected to, to enter us so that the market can go up, the market immediately or instantly went against you, right? It went against you instead of going in your favor. But the robot has already entered the market, but it hasn't made the first call, right? But let's say you find yourself already in maybe -4 or -2%, right? You're already in -2%, right? Now, what you're going to do is, in case you were depending on the signal and some other signal was sent, right? Just like the way you were demonstrating, that is how you would do it. But in case a signal is not sent, you could actually go and check from your trading view, look at the areas of support. Just you have to look for those areas of support. Now you can draw, or you can just use the auto Fibonacci, because it already has those lines drawn. You are able to tell, just like we always teach, you are able to tell the possible areas of market reversal, which are the 50, the 61.8, the 0, and then the 100. Those are the possible ones. Those are the major ones. Though at times it can go past those points, but those are the major areas, the major fib levels at which the market tends to reverse from, right? So if what you would do is you just measure the distance in terms of percentage from where the current price is to where you expect the price is going to reverse from. Then the robot will only buy if the price drops at that level which you identified, which will be by that percentage you're going to set as the margin call drop, right? Then once it does that, of course, you will pump in money, putting in the back of your mind the Martingale strategy, right? Because you will want to pump in an amount that will reduce the average price so that you are able to escape smartly, right, out of that floating loss. You get that? I don't know whether okay. I don't know if I could use I could use the phone just to, but okay, the picture.
Okay, it seems we have lost Coach Musa. It seems we have lost Coach Musa. I will not continue with what he was sharing. It needs himself. No one should tell me, Julius, pick it up from there. Please forgive me. I will not pick it up from there. No. Someone is in my chat. Julius, pick it up from there. I'm not picking it up from there. I deal with what I understand. So let me see if he's back. Someone should not tell me pick it up from there. I only pick up what I understand. What I don't understand, I don't pick up. I'm still also learning. I'm also a student. Yes, his explanation is good, straightforward, but I'm also learning. So someone should not tell me pick it up from there. So the good thing is back, is here. Let me return him his host powers. Pick it up from there. I'm not picking it up. It's a good thing is here. So, sir, most welcome.
Thank you.
You are.
Sorry,
Let me make you the host.
All right.
Host powers back to you.
Thank you. I was saying I could probably use someone's trading view and demonstrate this practically, right? It's what is tested and it works perfectly well, and that's what I do with the team, right? It perfectly works, and so we could do it. We could do someone would share, someone who is probably in a floating loss, and we just try to do that practically. Then maybe the person will have to share the experience after, yeah. And so could someone be willing to share his trading screen so that we do that practically? Because unless I'm going to join using my phone, but my challenge with the phone, when I try to open my trading view, it affects the network. That's why today I decided to use the laptop. But let me just go through that one more time. Yes, make sure that people can understand. Okay. Okay. So this, okay. Okay. So let me share my screen. This is very cool. Now, I don't know if I could just repeat this one more time, right? So that we can understand this perfectly well. I said, let's take for instance that you're already in a floating loss, right? You're already in a serious floating loss. Listen, let me call it like that. But you've seen a signal that has been sent in the group, right? On the very point you're trading. But you can't just keep watching and say, now for me, you keep crying, I'm in a floating loss. When will I come out of this floating loss? Yet there is a smart way out, a very perfect and smart way out of making profits and enjoying like others who are entering it for the first time, or probably who are not trading it. As they're profiting, you're also here enjoying the profits, even when you're in the floating loss, right? Through the sub cells. Now, what you do always is this. You need to check what the signal, because remember, when you're in a floating loss, it definitely means the entry price, the point at which you entered the market, is way far from where the current price of the coin is now. It is way below. It is very, very down now. That's why you're in a floating loss. It is where it has left you, it has left at that very point. Let's assume you had entered from this point. Your current price, I want to make sure that I go slowly so that we understand this part well, right? I'm going to take it that, let's assume you had already entered. Okay, let me take it somewhere up there. You're already there, right? When you entered the market, the current price of, okay, the price of that coin at that time, at that time was maybe around there. So after the robot buying, it established an average price just close to where the price of that coin was when it entered the market, right? But unfortunately, now the market has gone against you, to a point that probably you are now down you are now probably down by, let's say, already down. Sorry, already down. Let's say by, just a minute. Let's say you're already down. Let's say you're already down by a negative what? You're already down by -8, right? You're already down by -8 because that is where the current price is, right? That's where the current price is of ADA. It is around there. So that means you entered around there, right? You entered around here. You entered there, expecting that the market would move up so that you can, the robot can close the trade in profit. But unfortunately, it went against you, and it kept on going against you until now. The price is somewhere here. The price is already at what? Let me check. Let me check it out. The price is already at 0.4604, right? That is where the current price is now. So all the way from there, the market kept on, the price kept on dropping until 0 point from 0.5028. Now it is at 0 point, it is at 0.4604. That is where the current price is. But remember, somebody is seriously, analyzing this coin, is looking for an entry opportunity to trade so that he or she can make profit, right? And then it so happened that this person, according to his or her analysis, actually identified an area of value, a point where he or she thinks that once the market drops out, it is going to reverse. The market direction will reverse and begin moving up. And let's assume that according to the analysis, let's sorry a minute. So sorry for that. So let's assume that from there, the person has identified this area here as an area of value that is presenting an entry opportunity here, right there. So the person is expecting that at all cost, if this price drops all the way up to this point, which is 0.4343, the market will now reverse and begin moving up, right? Now the person was presented this as an entry opportunity. Therefore, this price is the preset price at which he or she wants the robot to enter this trade. Now, what you're going to do, you will not just watch as someone who's in a floating loss. You're already there. You're all the way, you're already -8. So you wouldn't mind even if it continue further from -8 up to, this will now be -1, from -8. From -8 all the way to that line. If you add -8 plus -5, that is already -13. So that means if you are patient and you don't enter this trade, what is going to happen? The percentage will continue, increasing up to -13. By the time the price is, arriving at 0.43, 0.43 what? This point here. By the time the price is arriving here, you're already -13 in the dip. Now, how long are you going to wait for -13 to move all the way up to -13, and then you'll be in profit? The best way is enjoy the ride. Enjoy the ride as the market is reversing and moving upwards. Enjoy that journey along as you profit. And that is, of course, the principle at which the robot works on. But then, with what you have and what you learned and what you've been always taught in the training, that you can benefit even when you're in the floating loss. Now, how do you do? You're going to simply come and draw these two lines where the current price of the coin is to where the price which was given on the signal is. You will simply draw. You won't just enter. You won't set it as your preset, but you only want to see how far is this current price to where the preset price is in terms of percentage. That is what you only want. Only. That is what you want, because you also want to benefit. So what is going to happen? You're going to, after measuring this and finding out that it's -5.52. What are you going to do? You've already got your margin control, right? So if this bot had already bought, say, 5 times, This target here would be for the sixth call. You're now attempting to allow the robot buy for the sixth time. But when will it buy for the sixth time? It should only buy if the market, if the price drops from the current price to this very price, which is -5, which is 5.52%. So you're only going to allow the bot to buy when the market drops by 5.52%. So this is what you're going to set as your margin call drop, right? After setting this as your margin call drop, now this is what is going to happen. If in this coin you had, now I'm talking for someone who has the capital, sorry, all right, so if, sorry, so if you're new on this very coin of ADA, the robot had already, let's say, used $100, right? It has already used $100, and now you want to enter this trade. For you to reduce this percentage by a half, which is that the percentage which has now, if you add the 8 to the 5, is already 13. For you to reduce this percentage by a half, which will come to about -7, you need to inject the same position amount, the same dollar or USDT that was used, or which is already on the coin, right? So if you inject like say $100, when the market drops from this point to this point, which is by 5.5%, you are saying the robot should buy or should use $100, right? When the robot uses $100, why it is going to do two things. One, it is going to reduce, first of all, this percentage. You will see there, to reduce this percentage, which was -13, it will reduce it to -7. That is one thing. Two, the take profit. Sorry. So two, when the robot picks up this trade, and then indeed the market reverses and begins moving up, once the movement is by 2%, the robot is going to sell your coin at a profit of 2% of the $100 you pumped in. But remember, your percentage has already reduced to -7, right? You see the magic you've done. Then two, you're going to look, so that is one thing. You have made profit, and two, the return rate has reduced. Now, if this coin continues to do well, you're going to manipulate this coin until you get out of this floating loss. The other thing you're going to do is, if it sells at this point, and then you notice that still the coin is continuing, let's say it is already here, it is already here, right? It has already sold, and you're still noticing that there's an upward movement still continuing. Now, what you're going to do is you'll go and again make adjustment, same way. But now this adjustment you're going to make, remember, price fluctuates, it moves up and down, up and down, up and down. Now your interest is to benefit from those fluctuations. So you now this time make the percentage to be very small, because at least it is going up. So you just want a very small change in the percentage, right? You can change it to either it can be 0.5 as your margin call drop. You can make it 0. You can make it 1%. You can make it 0.3, depending on how you want it to be. Because you want the robot to again buy quickly. You want the robot to buy quickly so that it reduces the -7 to maybe half again, -3. You get that? So you are again going to allow, you're going to create a very small percentage here, let's say negative of 0.5. So once the market moves a little by, it moves up and then drops by 0.5, the robot will be forced to buy again. Again, using your $100. Using the $100, again, remember it was -7. This time it is going to reduce again to -3.5. Then once it buys, you also need to put at the back of your mind that the market never moves smoothly, right? It may pump maybe up around here before it can reverse, because of the principle of, of a pullback of 50% and then continuing a journey of that previous trend, moving up, Right. So I don't know whether that part is, and that concept is first of all understood. Hey. Yeah. Let me check what the chat is saying. Mhm. Yeah, yeah. Even if you don't, even if the capital is not enough to reduce the return rate by half, it is still okay. You still profit, right? You still profit, but yeah, but the capital should be something. Yeah, it should be something. You should think about. You cannot expect to come out of the floating loss quickly if you don't have the capital, because that is the essence of replenishment. You want to pump in something that will reduce the return rate, right? So that you quickly get out. That is the principle. And does it make sense? Can I get some feedback? It doesn't make any sense. Is it coming? If it doesn't today, yeah, we should try it again next time. Yeah, so that yeah, but maybe next time I'll try to go through. Maybe I'll try to use the mobile phone, then I explain it and you have that understood. Or if there was someone who's willing to share, let me first stop sharing. Okay. Now, somebody is saying, does it work in the first four margin calls? Now, this is what I would say. What you must know is, if you replenish, definitely the aim is to move your average price closer to your current price, right? Now, if your boat had bought, let's say, only one time, and you're in a floating loss, definitely there was an average price already established. So replenishing would mean you are reducing your average price, moving it away from the previous to somewhere near where the current price is, right? That is the essence. Now, you should also put at the back of your mind that when the boat is trading, remember the first four calls are treated as a single unit, right? When the robot is selling, treat them as a single unit, unless if the robot had bought one time, then the market moved in your favor, then it will close it in trade. Or if they had bought twice and the market moves in your favor, it will close it. But for as long as you had made the first four buys, right, for it to sell, it has to treat all the four, including the entry amount, as a single unit. And it will sell it at your world position take profit percentage, which you have indicated. But if you are in a sub-sell, it is even more smarter. It is even more better because you are able to profit even before selling the entire stock. You will first of all be in position to make a lot more from the sub-sells. So it is even better for someone who is in a floating loss of I mean, it would be better for someone who is in a floating loss in which the boat has bought so far now more than 5 times, because that will be a very good move, because you'll be closing at every sub-sell, you'll be making profit, huge profits, by the way. If you master the art, you will be making those. So by the time you're now, you're remaining with only 4 calls, even the percentage, the return rate would have reduced tremendously. And by reducing tremendously, definitely you won't take long before the robot can close your trade and profit, right? So it is good for those with it is good for sub-cells, though it can also work for the first 4 calls. But of course, you see, the first 4 calls, the boat will not sell until it moves, until the price moves above the average price, right, at which the boat actually bought. So it has, because for the first 4, it has to sell the entire stock, right? That's why sometimes it may be better for someone who is in a floating loss with more than 4 calls, right? With more than 4 buys that the robot has made, right? Yeah. But if it is the first 4 call, yeah, it is just going to help you reduce the percentage. I mean, the return rate, that percentage. To just reduce it, and 2, it will also bring the average price closer to the price at which you enable the robot to buy, right? But you won't realize those profits that someone who is probably enjoying the subset would see. Yeah. Okay. Yes, I think. Yes, Julius. Would you want to supplement something before you can go to the next person, probably? Yes, I'm seeing Olu. Yes, your hand is up. Would you please share with us before maybe Leader Julius comes in? Unmute yourself,
Okay.
please. And
hello. Yeah, my testimony is that I've tried that strategy. And for one or two coins that I've used that strategy for, the return rate and the average price have been closing.
oh, yeah.
I tried it with Ape. And today, the difference between the current price and I think it's about 7.013. By this money, it was now 6 point something. So the margin was higher before. That is, the difference between the two was high before. But since I've started using that strategy, you taught us, the difference between the return rate has been going down and down to the point that maybe very soon, it will get to a point that the bot will sell everything. And the same thing with BTST, which I bought for 27.76 then. Now it has dropped down to about 24 because of this same strategy. So gradually, the difference between the average price and the return rate, and the current price is reducing gradually. I've experienced it, and it's working.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, Olu has been part of the okay. Olu has been part of the class. There's a class I all normally conduct anyway on price action, but yeah, he has been part of that. He had a similar challenge, but it works. I think we shall try to go through it all again, and it works really. It's one of the secret to getting out of the floating loss. Trust me, it works. Yeah. Yes, Leader Julius, please. Leader Julius. I'm seeing your hand.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I think according to what you have shared, it would also work so best instead of someone is an aggressive trader, right? And doesn't have too much capital. I think this would be something good for them instead of them going straight and open up margin calls, right? And maybe he wants to trade more because some people are very aggressive. I think it could be a very good strategy for them that instead of me opening 4 margin calls, when I land in floating loss, I'll basically now go where I would set 4 margin calls, I'll set 1 margin call. And maybe if a signal is dropped and I'm already floating, like I had this talk about ape, then I'll measure from the current price to the signal that has been given. Then that becomes my margin call. So it pulls down my floating loss.
Exactly.
I also believe if someone has huge floating, right? Huge floating. And they could double their purchase by that strategy. Even if you have 100% floating loss. And maybe you had put in $500 and you can double that, because if you can double that using this strategy, then it can drastically pull your floating loss down. And if you had already 5 margin calls and above, then you can sell particularly with a good take profit on that particular purchase you have done. I think it is a good strategy, especially for those that have more than 4 margin calls. I think it could serve them best. Those on don't have 4 margin calls with huge floating loss, I think it also help them if they can double. Basically, is what I think. They can double, then it can drastically pull the floating loss down. But it looks like a sweet strategy. I think people could adapt it. It's a welcome.
Thank you. Yeah. All right. Thank you very much, Leader Julius. Yeah. Somebody saying let's analyze. Please analyze projection for BNB. Okay. Now you're taking us into price action now. Yeah, it is possible to do that. Okay, but let me get what this guy has to say. Wafula. Yes, Wafula. Unmute yourself, please.
Hey, good morning, good afternoon, everybody.
Yes, good morning.
Yeah, it's just an addition for what you have been saying. I've analyzed something. As you
Yes.
have said, assuming maybe I bought my coin, and after a short time or after a long time, it went into a floating loss. But maybe I had only set 1 or 2 margin calls. Now it is a huge floating loss. I think what we can do, we can try to set the board to buy. If I had set maybe 2 margin calls, now maybe the bot has bought the 2 margin calls are over. I will increase my margin calls to maybe 7. In that, then I take the percentage drop to be small to reach the 50 margin call. In that, the 6 margin call, my robot can start now buying. That work? Can that work?
Yes.
I don't know whether you understand me.
Yes.
We try to push to get to the 50 or 60 margin call. No matter what floating loss you are in, divide the amount you have to have at least 6 margin calls. Then the bot will start buying, even if you are in floating loss.
Yeah.
Can I use my trading view?
Can you what, sir?
Work?
Your voice.
Can I say and I use my trading view?
Trading view. Oh, you want to demonstrate something?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay. Yes. You can do. You can go ahead, please. You can go ahead.
Okay. Maybe you can allow me to share.
Yes, a minute. A minute. You can share.
All right. Share my screen. All right. What I'm saying, maybe if I check here, maybe I have this sun. Sun is in already floating loss of 2. I will check my entry price was at 0.00516. Okay. Now I'll go to my trading view. How many margin calls have I so far bought? There are already 5, isn't it? So I'll go to my trading view. I'll look for my sun. USDT. All right. Okay. I'll check my price before was 0.00516. Okay. Somewhere 16. Can you help me? Okay. Let me just use your explanation. It's like if I realize the resistance here, or the support, is it the support or resistance? The resistance will be somewhere here, isn't it? Now the current price is now, as you had explained, I can measure this percentage here to reach the 0 here, probably, isn't it? If I realize it will be here, it will be negative 2.8. So my next call, if I come here, if I open more margin calls here, if I say now I want to open more margin calls, I go on the 6. I make now them 7 or 6. Let me say just 6 here. Okay, my drop here. I'll now pull this. What did we have? 2.8. So here I put 2.8. Okay. How many times should I buy? Maybe same, depending on what my capital is. It will be 0.15, whatever it will be. Then I save. After saving, so my bot will buy only when the price has come to here. And once it will start pumping up, it will sell according to the subposition, profit. Where is it? I'll get 1.3% now of the 6 call.
Yes.
Is it what
Now,
you said?
yes, now, yes, exactly. Now, this is what this means. And it means if in the signal previously, the signal was talking about 2%. So since your target is on the 6th call, you're going to come to the distribution of profit allocation and adjust that percentage to 2% so that you're able to close, you're able to benefit 2% of the position amount injected in that sub position. Yeah.
I'll come here, change it
You
to
put
2.
Right? Yes.
Yeah. Then I save it. Okay. Then
Yes.
also the strategy I was saying, the complement, I was saying was assuming I bought, let me remove it. Okay. My entry price was here. When I saw this green candle forming, I thought the market was gonna move up. I bought from here. Okay. But this changed the situation. Now thing is moving down. I'm still in floating loss here, isn't it? Now, assuming I had bought one time here, and maybe the margin call I also made it to 1. But I need to make at least 5 margin calls for my bot to start buying and selling according to that formula you have told us. I think what I can do is I distribute this percentage. How much is it? No, not this one. Sorry for that. When I'm here, the price is here. I need it to reach here before my bot starts selling. But I only have 1 margin call. I'm here. When I draw down, it is 2.8. But I need at least 5 margin calls. So I can make this 2.8 divided by 5. 2.8 divided by 5. So it will be 0.56. So I increase my margin calls, or I change my margin calls. I'll be putting 0.6565. The bot will buy very many times to reach the 50th call. Now from the 50th call, my bot will start to selling. Did you understand me there?
Yeah. Yeah. Now.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is good. I think that is when you want to, you want to buy more of the coins. Now, the other strategy I was talking about is someone who's probably already fed up. Is like, is afraid of the floating loss and thinks floating loss is the end of everything, right? So the strategy I present is to help that person probably who's already seeing that the floating loss is the end of the game. The person can work out smartly because you identify an area, just like on your chart. You see, there's something I would have shared here, but I think time will not permit for now. But You see, when you're trading, the fib levels, right? When you're trading the fib levels, they are really very good areas for me, which I would recommend that you can set your trap at. Okay, I normally call it trap, but entry price, right? If you realize that the market is dropping and approaching that very fib level, that is where you set your trap. And those key areas, of course, the zero, right, where you've identified. Then there is the 50%. Then there is the area, that area between 50 and 61.8% line, and then the 61.8% line and the 100. Those are the key areas. And for instance, if you come across the chart, let's say on opening the chart and realize that this was already a downtrend, probably your best entry point would be around the 0%, right? Or some area slightly above the 0%. If you find that probably the candle, the market was on an uptrend, it has already moved from 100% and it is at the 0%. Expect a pullback of 50% or 61.8%. That is an area where the market is going to reverse course, no matter what, unless something happens in the market. But most of the time, those areas are respected. If it has already moved from 100% to 0%, for that trend to continue upward, it has to pull back by either 50% or 61.8%. So meaning, if you already identify a trend that has already gone to 100%, don't even try to enter the market. Be smart. Wait for a drop. Wait for that pullback to the 50% area. And if you set your trap at the 50% area, measure that distance from the 50% area to the 61.8% as your pullback, as your margin call drop. Because if the market doesn't reverse at the 50%, it will. Just a minute.
All right.
All right, sorry. No baby things. Okay. Yeah, I don't know whether I don't know whether I made that point clearly. I don't know whether we understood that. But let me share my screen just to give you a good insight, probably before, so that you can have a better understanding of what.
Yeah. Hello.
All right. So, can you see my screen?
Sorry.
Can you see my screen? Oh. All right. So, I'm going to give reference to this movement here. You see through this trend, this was a downtrend, as you can see, right? Moving all the way from the 0% to from 100% fib level to the 0% fib level, right? Right? Do you see that? Oh, it has now changed. It has just changed. It has just changed, and it has demonstrated that this is already an uptrend. The journey was from the 100% fib level to the 0% fib level. Now, do you know where you set a trap in this kind of trend? This is already a downtrend, an uptrend from 100% to 0%. Before it changed, we were seeing a downtrend, as we were seeing the dotted line coming here, moving from 100 to 0. Now it is from 100 to 0 upward, and this is truly an uptrend, as we can see. Now, for this trend to continue upward, this market will have to pull back up to the 50% fib level or the 61.8% fib level. Now, if you are setting your trap at the 50% fib level as your entry price, let's say you set your entry price to be 261. Which coin is this? This is BNB. All right, BNB. Now, if this was the entry price that you set, right? Because obviously it's coming to either reverse at this point or around this area between the 50 and the 61, or exactly at the 61.8. I think we can monitor this and probably you will see that once the market drops at this point, if this is your entry price that you set as your trap, from which you believe that the market will come and reverse and move up, you measure this distance. You try to measure this distance from here to this area. Sorry. Just measure this distance using a price range to the 61.8%. 61.8%. This is negative 0.8. So meaning you can keep it one margin call, right? And then this is a point at most, at least which you want, in case it doesn't reverse at this point and it happens to go when the robot has already bought at this level and it is still going down. You expect the reversal will happen at this fib level. It normally happens, ladies and gentlemen. It is not something that is concocted. Remember, Leader Julius has taught you the power of auto Fibonacci, right? So once it hits there at this point, it is going to reverse and move up. So meaning, if you allowed the bot to buy at this point, buy more of the BNB coin, your journey to your profit will begin right away from this level. Now, if it was 2%, probably, you're going to see that if you are taking 2%, you're going to see that the 2% will just be around here. It will be around here, right? This is 1 hour time. There you'll be good. If it reverses from the 50%, your 2% will be around there from here upwards. Sorry. You'll have this. The 2% will be around there. Around there. Slightly. So this is just to give you that, so that you can always, when you find a trend, an uptrend that has already happened, and you're already seeing the market is pulling back, you set your trap at the 50% fib level or the 61.8% fib level, because this is where the reverse will happen, right? For this market to continue up, you know that movement, that the market moves up, pulls back, moves up, pulls back, moves up, pulls back. So this is what you're trying to witness here. It has to pull back before it can continue. If perhaps something happens in the market, that's when, if the momentum at which it is pulling back with is so high, that's when you will experience it coming and bypassing this level and probably coming to the speed will be stopped around here, this speed level, or it may decide to come up to the 100%. But most of the time, this is where the reverse will happen. Right. So now, if you're for people who are, if you want to get out of a floating loss and you analyzing a coin to see or to determine where your robot will buy next, right? So that you benefit from sub and you want some percentage. These are the things you'll be using. These are the areas you'll be looking at. Forecast and see, is the market reversing to the 0%? Is it at the, is it at the 0%? Is it at the 100%, or is it approaching this area? Because once it approaches this area, it will reverse. If it was on a downtrend, it will come to the 0% and pull, right? So now this is a little bit technical, but I know it will not be a grasp on one from onset, but it's just something you need to begin thinking about. That is a possibility you can, or what you can do really to make sure that you're out. But personally, me, I'm not in any floating loss. I only went from the floating loss once, but I've never been. Right. But if I'm in a floating loss, that's 5%. That is really, and that one normally happens when I'm asleep. When I've slept off, I wake up and the market is going against this loss. But I quickly go into the analysis to see for ways of getting out together. So yeah, so that is okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know whether the point is understood, but yeah, we can see how to go about that next time probably. It's already midday probably, and yeah. So maybe the last one, perhaps some closing. Probably there's no any. Right. Yeah. Little Julius, some last word, then we close probably for today. And yeah. Yes, little Julius. I think the next time we shall do a lot of live trading first. We're going to demonstrate things practical and we enter practical and as we monitor how the market is behaving, then we see. Yeah, little Julius, yes, please. You can unmute yourself.
All right. Okay. Maybe you can allow me share my screen.
Oh, yes.
Maybe to so that I can.
All right, you can share your screen.
Right. Okay. Now, what you can mute my friend from Dubai. He has some feedback. What he was trying to share, what you are trying to share. For example, I have identified this coin. I want people just to see where do signals come from. One of the best signal I believe anybody can have is what I call a preset signal. Now, for example, I want you all to see this is an upward trend. Everybody can see on XRP. All right. By principle, I know that the market will take an upward movement because maybe people ask where the signals come from, that it has gone up already. Now it is having what to call a retracement. Now this retracement, like Coach Musa said, will happen on this line. So what I'm gonna do just to show you, I come here on the group, let's trade. I'm just showing an example because I was just writing it here. Then I write USDT price. I need to write the word preset. Okay. Preset. Preset. Right. Preset price. Now someone may ask, where is the preset price? Now you're gonna see that the preset price is here. It's this one, the 50 line, 0.4450, right? So I come and I say price 0.4450. Now, I also add, if I want margin call drop. I think this is what people, I think need. Then I bring my price range. It doesn't matter whether it touches. If it doesn't touch, it's okay. Because some people usually tell me, but sometimes I miss out. But there's nothing you lose when you miss out. That's one of the biggest challenge. So I measure from there to there, negative 2.63%. And I put 2.63%. I'm not very good at looking for signals, but I know what to do. Then I come down here. Then I put take profit. Now, when you come on this signal and we look for take profit, it is now your greed here matters. How greedy are you? So because if this signal picks from here, this is enough. By the way, let me tell you, this is enough. Maybe if you are too greedy, I know this market, this is, I don't know. First, wait, let me first confirm something. I need to just widen, all right. Now that I can see. Because I know if it moves from the 50 line here, the minimum it can go is up to this 38 line up here. Also, it can still move up to here, but minimum I know it will do this. Then I come here, I put the take profit 2.5. Now the challenge is here. Now you see, after you post a signal like this one, someone who has not been on the Zoom will see Nimbus crowd, like I usually say. Like he will be confused, where does this thing comes from? Because he expects that maybe after the Zoom, someone come and explain this one. So now what do? You now go to your Royalq. Simple, because this is what maybe I see many people asking. Then I come to my Royalq. And basically, I look for XRP. XRP. What's wrong with this network? XRP. Where are you? XRP. It has already overperformed, by the way. Then I put in my preset price. 0.4. It will return because the market doesn't take one direction. 4. I don't know why is my internet. Am I still available on this Zoom? Because my phone is no longer responding. All right. 4450. Okay, that is, let me say, my preset price. I think 4450. My take profit is 2.5. Trade settings. All right. It depends on how much you want to expose. That one I'm not going to 2.5. My margin call is 1, but it is a straight margin call. 2.63% times 2 my first buying amount. Let me say, if my first buying amount, let me say, is $100, then I must have $200 into my Binance. This one I want it to buy fast sharp. So I must have $200, but this is a straight one margin call. Now I leave this trade as long as it can stay. It's none of my business. Now, the biggest challenge in the business is that when some of us find trades that are already doing well, you want to go and trade with them so that maybe I've missed out on the 17%. So you set, this is your preset, and your coin will be in green as it is here. It doesn't matter how long it takes. It will give you your profit comfortably. So if someone could learn, like Coach Musa said, if someone could learn the auto FBI retracement lines and use them very, very well, they are good, especially in an upward trend, to give you areas of confluence, to know when to get in the market. I think that is, I just wanted to add on what you shared. I want to wish you a blessed weekend. Thank you so much, Coach Musa. Can we celebrate Coach Musa, ladies and gentlemen, for the work well done? I think he's doing very well. He had for us amazing nuggets today. Could we give him some love hearts? Remember, everybody does this for free. I think in all the people that I have in the business, especially in the trading sector, Coach Musa has really learned this big time. So we celebrate you. Thank you so much. He's the CEO of Galaxy Crypto Academy, and his team, they conduct Zooms every day. If you are open, then I can send you his Zoom links, and you can always join his Zooms and his Telegram group teachings that he does whenever he develops a signal. So basically, I want to thank you so much, Coach Musa, for work well done, and I'm proud of you. I can't wait. You can imagine that Coach Musa is a V2, because some of you get stuck because of ranks. It's not about ranks. Coach Musa is about to become a V3. It's not about ranks, as gentlemen. It's about decision. It's not about position, because most of you say, I would be pushing this business, but maybe I'm a V1, I want to be a V at least. No, there is no, you just take position, right? You just take position. Thank you so much. And back to you, Coach Musa.
Thank you very much, Leader Julius, and thank you everyone who attended this call, and I hope to see you next Friday. And from me to you, happy Friday. The weekend is, it's just getting started. So let's enjoy responsibly while knowing that we still have a lot to do ahead in terms of trade and moving on our journey to financial freedom. All right. Have a blessed afternoon and see you next week. Next week. Thank you. So for those who may want to follow up with the link, for the today's training, I believe, I think it should be on the Team Eagles. It's on a YouTube channel called Crypto Ambassador. I think you can go and search through on YouTube. It's called Crypto Ambassador. Then you can go through all over again, and you can probably subscribe as well to get posted always when a new video is posted. Right. Yeah, so that is it for today. And somebody's asking my what? So please let me just share my number. I'm gonna put my number and then we can 36. I'm always skeptical because I don't want indoctrination in the team. I'm always flexible who joins the team because particularly what we do there is understanding the crypto market and doing a little bit of price action, knowing when to do what you ought to do in terms of trading. So I'm always selective. So, but I'm going to put my number on the link. If you need to be part, just find a way. Let me let's put my number there. Some people already have my number, but that is my WhatsApp number. You can, if you want to get back to me. All right. I think we were good for today. Have a blessed afternoon. And yes, Wafula, that has been good. You mastered the strategy and you keep practicing. You will see a change in the trades, in your trades here. Practicing that. Okay. All right, hope the number has been picked. I'm going to end the meeting for today and see ourselves in the next Friday.